A powerful winter storm is disrupting daily life across a huge stretch of the United States, and it has already turned deadly. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain are knocking out power and making travel dangerous for millions of people. Nearly 1 million customers have lost electricity at different points as the storm spread. Emergency declarations have been issued across about 20 states and Washington, D.C., with warnings that conditions could still worsen before improving. This isn't a small regional system. It's a broad storm sweeping from the central U.S. toward the East Coast. At one point, more than 200 million people were under some form of winter weather alert, stretching from Texas up to New England. That means the impacts look different in different places. Deep snow in some areas, thick ice in others, and bitter wind chills nearly everywhere. When a storm covers this much ground, even well-prepared communities can get stretched thin. One reason this storm is so disruptive is the mix of precipitation types. In some places, it falls as snow, but in others, it turns into sleet or freezing rain, which is far more dangerous for roads and power lines. Freezing rain is especially risky because it can coat surfaces with a near-invisible layer of ice. That single detail can turn an ordinary commute into a high-risk situation in minutes. Emergency declarations are used when officials need faster access to resources and a clear framework for response. In storms like this, that can mean deploying road crews, opening warming shelters, and prioritizing power restoration. It also helps coordinate across state lines when a single weather system affects many regions at once. The key message is that authorities are treating this as a serious public safety event, not a routine winter inconvenience. Officials have linked at least 10 deaths to storm conditions so far, though totals may change as more information comes in. These cases are often connected to exposure to extreme cold, dangerous travel, or other complications during severe weather. At the time of recording, details are still developing and some circumstances are still being investigated. The takeaway is simple. This storm has already proven it can be life-threatening. Power outages have been one of the most widespread impacts, especially where ice weighs down trees and lines. Nearly 1 million customers lost power at various points as the storm intensified. Tennessee alone reported more than 300,000 homes and businesses without electricity, while Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia each saw more than 100,000 outages. In freezing temperatures, a blackout quickly becomes a safety issue, not just a comfort problem. For families, losing power in extreme cold can mean no heating, limited cooking, and rising risk for older adults and small children. Many people try to conserve warmth by staying in one room, layering clothing, and using blankets, while communities may open warming centers for those who need shelter. The challenge is that ice can slow down repairs, and even short delays feel much longer when temperatures stay dangerously low. This is where planning and checking on neighbors can make a real difference. Travel has been thrown into chaos as snow and ice make roads slick and unpredictable. Officials have urged many drivers to stay off the roads because even a short trip can turn risky when visibility drops and traction disappears. Airports across major corridors have faced waves of cancellations and delays as crews work to keep runways safe and aircraft de-iced. In many places, schools and offices have closed, creating temporary shutdown zones until conditions stabilize. Winter storms like this often form when very cold Arctic air pushes south and meets warmer, moisture-rich air from the Gulf or Atlantic. Where these air masses collide, precipitation becomes widespread, but the exact temperature layers in the atmosphere decide what falls. If the air near the ground is below freezing, while warmer air sits above it, rain can fall and then freeze instantly on contact. That setup is a recipe for fast-forming ice that clings to roads, trees, and power lines. Ice storms are especially damaging because a thin coating can add heavy weight to branches and cables. That extra load makes trees snap and power lines sag or fall, triggering widespread outages. Ice on roads is also more dangerous than snow because tires can lose grip even at low speeds, and stopping distances rise dramatically. And importantly, the danger can linger even after precipitation eases because ice remains until temperatures rise or crews can treat surfaces. Behind the storm system, an Arctic air mass is driving temperatures down to levels that can become dangerous quickly. In parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest, wind chills are expected to plunge to extreme lows, making even short time outdoors risky without proper protection. This cold is not a brief overnight dip. It can persist for days, putting extra strain on power systems and heating needs. For people without stable housing, the risk rises sharply as shelters and services get stretched. The hardest hit areas aren't all the same. Some southern communities face ice-driven blackouts in homes built for mild winters, while northern towns deal with heavy snowfall and repeated plowing. On the East Coast, major cities can see cascading disruptions, delayed trains, clogged highways, and strained emergency services. Meanwhile, utility crews, hospital teams, and first responders are working long hours in the same brutal conditions, trying to keep people safe and restore normal life. For outdoor workers like delivery drivers and construction crews, normal routines can become impossible. Beyond safety, storms like this ripple through the economy. Flight cancellations disrupt travel and shipping, and icy roads slow deliveries of food, fuel, and essentials. If power cuts last, businesses can lose revenue and communities may need emergency support for vulnerable residents. Forecasts suggest storm conditions may continue into at least Monday in some areas, while the cold behind it could linger for days. At the time of recording, details are still developing in some regions. The most practical advice is to avoid unnecessary travel. Prepare to stay warm during outages and check on neighbors, because recovery can take longer than the snowfall itself.